How about a Coppola quick facts?
Right. Coppola quick facts. This is kind of long-winded here, but the film was announced in 2005 under the working title Crude Awakening.
I got a lot out of that pun, I guess.
Yeah. Originally a stop-motion animated film that was going to be made by Aardman Animations, the people who did Wallace and Gromit, The Curse of the Were-Rabbit, and it was supposed to be part of a 5-picture deal with DreamWorks, with Aardman Animations kind of co-producing on these. John Cleese and Kirk D'Amico were brought in, and they planned on working on a feature based on Roald Dahl's story, The Twits, that I think eventually went into production, or it's like coming out at some point. DreamWorks got a copy of the Twits script and they liked it and invited Cleese and D'Amico over to take a look at the company's ideas to see if they found something that they would like to work with that wasn't the Twits, because apparently DreamWorks didn't want to do that one. I don't know. They chose a basic story about 2 cavemen on the run, an inventor and a Luddite, and wrote the first few drafts of the script. Eventually, Aardman ended up pulling out and not doing this 5-picture deal in 2007, and the rights of the film reverted to DreamWorks, and John Cleese bailed and decided to go work on other projects. So I would say what we're seeing is not really John Cleese's work.
Yeah.
He was kind of like there for the fleshing out of the story, and that was about it. You know, it was a completely different story about 2 cavemen on the run. And then we got this family story. Mm-hmm. I don't know if the 2 cavemen were going to be brothers, and that was how the Croods were going to be. The name was going to come from, but I don't know. Or the family was always intended to be there. This story actually resembles Plato's fable, The Cave, which is a metaphor of the mental limitations people are burdened with. Only a few people can learn to think outside the parameters of convention and see the vast, diverse world of possibilities outside of their cave. So that's kind of the crux of the story, is that, you know, kind of like if you went by that Crude Awakening story or name, you know, it's Grug's story of kind of coming out of his shell and coming out of his cave. With the thanks is that
the help of
with the help
or thanks
of, thanks to Guy and his daughter. Before the film's release, DreamWorks Animation was suffering from major disaster at the box office and generally mixed word of mouth reception for Rise of the Guardians. Remember that movie?
No.
Like in 2012. As a result of this, combined with other factors, in February 2013, this is going to be an ongoing thing that I've noticed already, because I already started doing research on the ant bully. But the studio announced right before this movie came out that they were laying off 350 employees as part of a company-wide restructuring. With the ant bully, the studio went out of business as soon as the movie came out. And I'm wondering if that's going to happen, like G-Force, Astro Boy. I don't feel like any of those movies did like great.
I thought G-Force got a sequel.
Yeah, G-Force got a sequel and like
G-Force got a sequel?
Yeah, for kids.
So.
I'm pretty sure it did. I know, like the younger generation, that was their jam.
Really?
Oh yeah, dude.
I know nothing about that movie, so
I don't either. But I just remember
going in blind.
Very popular with kids.
It's like hamsters doing spy stuff, right?
Guinea pig.
Yeah.
Guinea pigs.
Yeah, but it was like kind of in the same vein of like Spy Kids and all that stuff. It hit this weird market.
Well, I'm excited. You can tell by my enthusiasm. I can't wait. If the Croods had bombed even worse than Guardians, the studio was going to lay off even more employees and face the potential possibility of bankruptcy. DreamWorks was almost out of business. Couldn't bank on that Shrek and
Puss in
Boots money anymore.
G-Force does not have a sequel.
I thought it did. Not like
Yeah, I didn't think it did because I feel like I would have stumbled upon it. If Nick Cage was in the sequel, then he wasn't, or was, if there was a sequel, then Nick Cage wasn't in the sequel because it's definitely not on his credits. So, yeah. The Croods opened March 22nd, 2013 to glowing positive reviews and widely enthusiastic acclaim from audiences, and eventually earned $186 million in the U.S. and over $583 million worldwide. It remarkably helped DreamWorks' earnings rise from $162.8 million to $213.4 million in the second quarter of 2013, which is one of the best financial earnings ever received in the company's history. So this movie kind of reinvigorated DreamWorks, gave DreamWorks a second bite at the apple, because it sure seemed like they were going to be going out of business if this movie wasn't successful. Yeah. Which is a lot of pressure to put on a little production like this. A little $155 million production like this. It is insane how much it costs to make these movies. It's so nuts.
Yeah.
I mean, it's tedious hours and hours and hours paying animators.
Yeah.
Which you can see why they've offshored a lot of that to save money.
Yeah.
But it shows, now it's like that like the third eye that Doctor Strange has.
Super realistic, bro.
Like, come on, man.
Well, they fired the woman in charge of all of the visual effects at Marvel Studios.
Good.
So,
yeah. It's going to be interesting to see how AI comes into play when it comes to animation.
Yeah. I feel like AI is going to change the game.
Because
for better or worse.
That stuff is getting creepy realistic. Like,
yeah.
Scary realistic.
Yeah. I mean, if you can do visual effects just by typing in a prompt, I mean, you're going to save a whole lot of money, but you're also going to put a whole lot of people out of work.
Yeah.
So I think this is going to be revolutionary and devastating to the visual effects market. But, we'll just have to wait and see how it all shakes out. But
yeah.
I feel like eventually you're just going to be able to make a Marvel style movie on your computer. Just by
there.
Filming a couple things and then popping in a couple prompts.
I think probably better than what they're putting out right now. So
yeah,
that's true.
It's not there yet, but it's getting pretty damn close.
It's getting close, and it's getting better and better. Like by the week, it feels like.
Yeah. Like how I say that AI is the worst it will ever be right now.
Yeah. Exactly.
The best it'll ever be is when it puts us out of our misery and dominates the world.
when it sends the Terminators to kill us all. That's or the Terminator dogs that they've been making. Seriously, why would you ever strap a machine gun on one of those things? That was like the first thing they did as soon as they made it. They were like, oh, it stands up.
Yeah.
Words. Let's just put a machine gun on his back.
I'd rather them have a machine gun on it than a furry outfit. So,
not me. I think those little robot dogs are pretty fuckable.
Oh, shit.
This is the first DreamWorks animation film to be nominated for an Academy Award for Best Animated Feature since Puss in Boots, which, that was 2011, and this came out in 2013. So not really that big of an accomplishment. But it was also nominated for a Golden Globe. Didn't win either one. I forget who won 2013. This film ended up launching a brand new franchise with a television series now, which I think is on Peacock, which is called Dawn of the Croods.
I think it's on Hulu, isn't it?
I don't know. It debuted on Netflix, but I think it moved around.
Oh, gotcha.
And then, of course, a sequel directed by Joel Crawford titled The Croods, A New Age, which was released right in the heart of the pandemic, November 25th, 2020. I don't feel like it got much of a theatrical release. We'll see. We're going to be getting to that movie very shortly.
Man,
once we blast
really
through
hopped
the
on
other.
that hype train. They just rode the success 7 years later.
Yeah. I mean, these things take a
while
long
to make
ass
an
time.
animated movie.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But
7
still,
years.
it probably should have come out. I mean, it made $600 million. You would think it would jump right into production for part two, but
then again, Ryan Reynolds and Emma Stone, their careers blew up.
yeah.
Blew up. This is right as they were about to peak, I feel. So probably
This
hard
is
to nail them
when
down.
Cage's career blew up in the opposite direction.
Yeah, this is when he started doing Doggy Dog and Dying of the Light, and Knowing, and
Yeah.
what Left
I
Behind.
don't know if Cloris Leachman is in the sequel because she passed relatively
away.
recent.
I was wondering about that.
I
when
thought she passed away before COVID. No,
I don't know.
She
I don't remember.
might be. Because they do, the voice audio recording can be done years before the movie's released.
yeah, that's true. That's true. She could have recorded all that before she passed. Might have been one of the last things she did.
I see her in the cast. So,
Okay.
For her on IMDb.
DreamWorks Animation designed Grug specifically for Nicolas Cage. I didn't know this, but apparently this is a famous fact. Nick Cage turned down voicing Shrek.
Oh yeah,
And it's
What?
because he didn't like the character design. He thought the character was too ugly and didn't work. So I know Chris Farley was originally supposed to do Shrek, and then he passed away. And then they brought in Mike Myers, but I did not know that Nick Cage was attached to do Shrek at any point. That's crazy.
I'm glad he
I
did.
think it's for the best that he did.
Yeah. Sadly for him, it probably would have been life changing, but for us,
I don't know.
I can't imagine.
I don't think those
he's-
movies would have had the staying power.
I don't
Yeah.
know, dude. I think he's perfect for animation. I think he would
He's
have
great
been,
for animation.
He's
but
such a great
He is,
voice
but
actor.
he would have played it
I don't
straight.
think
He
he
wouldn't
is.
have done
Yeah.
like a Scottish accent.
Right.
I mean, I hope
Like,
not.
Mike Myers
he
is-
might have tried.
Like Nick
I don't
Cage
think
could
the
do
Scottish
voice
accent
acting,
was supposed to
but
be there.
No.
It was just Mike
That's
Myers
Mike
doing Mike
Myers.
Myers stuff.
working on his fat bastard impression.
Yeah, like watch some of the storyboards of it with Chris Farley. It was just Chris Farley.
Yeah.
Just say so. I think like Nick Cage can do voice acting, but I think Mike Myers actually made Shrek a character. Like,
he did.
Yeah.
He
recognizable.
Yes,
character.
Shrek would not be Shrek without Mike Myers. It's 100%.
100%. Yeah.
Yeah, he created that character.
It could have definitely been a movie that did, the Croods style business where it was like kind of forgotten right away.
Right.
But Mike Myers and the chemistry with Eddie Murphy really kind of made those movies what they are. Grug's body language was based on Nicolas Cage's performances in Leaving Las Vegas and The Family Man. Like, why are you basing it on
What?
Leaving Las Vegas?
I don't remember him running around like a gorilla in The Family Man.
Nor in Leaving Las Vegas.
I think it's
like-
more like the way that he walked and carried himself, and there was a lot
Yeah.
of Nick Cageism, like when he's like pointing to himself
Yeah.
or like doing the. I mean, just very.
I'm sure that just means they
physical.
used clips from those movies as references for their keyframes for animation.
Yeah.
just to make it feel a little more
There are
realistic.
some Cageisms in the face.
Yes,
I did
The
notice
teeth.
quite a few of those.
Yeah.
But why would you choose a movie about an alcoholic scriptwriter who's drinking himself to death to use as your animation? Like,
Probably to try to capture that Neanderthalic movement. I would imagine.
he
I
does
don't
have a
know.
lot of like he has his drunk movements.
Yeah, he's because he really does. Yeah, he has like really kind of drunk movements and.
Also, the Family Man, he's playing it real straight.
Yeah.
Maybe in the scene where he's bitching at his wife about like going to the
mall.
store, and
Yeah.
maybe that, but I don't know. It's very strange.
I
Maybe
think they
because there
probably-
are a lot of like nice close-ups of Cage
Yes,
in the
yep.
Family Man.
Yeah, and I think
Maybe
we
they based
I
the face off.
I think I talked about it in Family Man that you can tell a lot of what he's going through emotionally with how he's carrying
Yes,
himself throughout
yeah,
that movie. So I'm
100%.
sure they
Yeah.
just use that you
Yep.
know as
Yeah.
as references for the emotions he's going through in the Croods because
Yeah.
it mirrors some of it.
Yeah.
I agree. They should use Vampire's Kiss, to be honest. I think that would have been the best performance to go after.
That totally. Yeah.
He's jumping on the couch.
I think all of his movies should be based off of Vampire's Kiss. That's just me personally. This is the second time that Nick Cage and Catherine Keener have played husband and wife. I forgot that she was in 8mm. She plays his wife in that too. Catherine Keener is kind of like I don't. She's always kind of like on the crux of being a household name, but I always feel like she's kind of forgotten in the pantheon of great actresses. She's always great, but I feel like she's kind of forgotten. I don't know why that is.
I think it's because she kind of fell into a character.
She does.
Fell into like a character.
But like
actor.
so does Tilda Swinton, and nobody Tilda Swinton is a household name, but like Catherine Keener, I feel like isn't.
Yeah.
Unfortunately,
I think she's underrated. Her performances are
100%.
Both in adaptation.
Great. Huh?
Say what?
Both in adaptation.
Yep. Yeah. But it's crazy that they played husband and wife in 8mm and this movie, and Croods too, of course. This is one of my big criticisms of this movie is this right here. Almost all of the animals depicted in the movie never existed, nor could they have ever existed under the basic laws of physics and biology.
Yeah.
They are chimeras, fantasy creations designed by putting together parts of extremely different animals. And I'm like, you have very little time with children to like whip any kind of educational message into anything animated like this, and you choose to like make up animals and make up locations and places that could not possibly exist. It's just, I don't know, almost like irresponsible. It's just weird.
It didn't bother me.
It's going back to caveman times and just being like, fucking turtles can fly.
Yeah, but it goes back to like, this is how they capture children's imaginations. The bright colors, these fantastical beasts. Like,
don't you remember, like, as a kid, like, any animal was possible in prehistoric times. They're all extinct now, so they can be whatever.
It's true.
It didn't bug me. PBS is right there if you want them to watch educational content.
Yeah.
Stick something that looks fun in front of them for 2 hours, and
it's either that or it's a 2-hour
life-saving.
documentary on the Holocaust. Either way, you're gonna learn about mythical beasts.
I'm raising my
about
kids
monsters.
on Ken Burns, and that's it. That's all they're watching.
There's that cat that's kind of becomes a member of the family at the end. They call him Chunky. Chunky the murder cat, but he is apparently a macawnivore because he's like a macaw parrot. But I don't, that's what they called him.
Was he
throughout
voiced
the
by
production.
McConaughey?
I'm a cat, man. All right. He started out as a joke in the art department. This cat. Artist Leighton Hickman was bored with the drab colors intended for the creatures in the desert scenes and painted the saber-toothed tiger with bright parrot colors. And the filmmakers liked the look for the macawnivore so much that he made the final film, and apparently they just rolled with that for every creature. They were just like, yeah, fucking whales can walk.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I don't know. It's a weird choice to me to just
Flying
make up
piranha birds.
every animal in the whole movie.
Yeah.
But, whatever. To each their own. It's not like most cartoons, like they're based on real things or anything.
Yeah, it gave it its own visual style, I guess. It's
Definitely unique. I don't know. But, I'm just going to move on.
The premise
Wow,
is
that's really
fantasy
stuck in
anyway.
chord.
It's like the whole world is radically shifting and changing around. It's obviously not based on reality. They're the only people left alive, apparently. So
Yeah.
Yeah. So strange.
it's like the kind of story you tell kids.
Yeah, I guess. It kind of seems like a story that like Grug would tell.
Yeah,
So maybe this is all just through his perspective.
right.